Shabbat Shalom, Israel. We will be live shortly. So glad you are here. Hope you've had a great Shabbat so far.
And as Rebekah always says, when her family is forgetting what they learned in the wilderness.
Are you kidding me? Do you want to keep grumbling and end up back in the wilderness? Not me. No, no. Never forgetting. I will not forget our wilderness time. I am not going back there. Hello! Shabbat Shalom, Israel and Ladies of Teshuvah. Welcome to the Happy Hippy Hebrew Girl Show. I am Rebekah from Teshuvah Ministries, and this show is dedicated to helping you move your head knowledge, everything that you've been learning, right, into heart knowledge, how to do it, how to actually repent and walk this narrow path of the Melchizedek Priesthood. So stay tuned for a really good show today. We are going to go through some baskets. I got great things for you planned, so stay tuned. All right, well tonight, hey, I like that music. I want to play that music. Hold on. Okay, well tonight I have in the house just me today. Yes, and we are going to continue on our conversation about the temple and how to take care of Papa's temple. You are the temple of Yehovah, and we are going to talk about that some more. So we're going to continue what we were doing last week, and I have some more wonderful things to show you, and just it's going to be a totally different show. I've got handheld thing, whatever they're called, and I've got products to show you, and we're going to talk about health and taking care of this body. So stay tuned. Here's a word from our sponsor. This show is sponsored by Teshuvah Ministries, promoting a simple understanding of salvation and of the Royal Melchizedek Priesthood. Visit www.teshuvahministries.com for more. Good evening and welcome to the newsroom. I am Rebekah Bat Yehovah, and tonight, like father, like son, where Yeshua echoes his father, once again, we are going to look at where they say the same things. Tonight, we are going to look at how both of them talk about our reward being for our deeds. And so let's start with Yeshua's words. Yeshua in Matthew 6:3-4. Let's look here. Matthew 6:3-4 says, "But when you give, do not let your left hand know what your right hand does, so that your giving may be done in secret. Then your Father who sees in secret will reward you openly." And also, we need to look in Revelation, the 5th gospel, as which will tell us what the king is going to do when he returns. So we're going to also look in Revelation 22:12. He says, "Behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according to his works." Isn't that interesting? Not according to anything, but he says according to his works. Now let's see where he echoes Yehovah Elohim. So let's look first in Isaiah 40:10. Isaiah 40:10 says, "See, the sovereign Yehovah comes with power, and his arm rules for him. See, his reward is with him, and his recompense accompanies him." It says the same thing, don't they? All right, and then we're also going to look at one more place. Jeremiah 17:10 says, "I, Yehovah, search the heart and examine the mind to reward a man according to his conduct, according to what his deeds deserve." Wow, isn't that powerful? So both of them saying the very same thing, that we will be rewarded according to our deeds. Just one more way that it proves that Yeshua came to speak his Father's words, not his own words. Yes, so I would highly suggest that you figure out what deeds it is that you are supposed to be doing to get the happily ever after. Until next time, I am Rebekah. All right. Okay, welcome again, Israel. And I'm so happy that you're going to spend a little bit of time with me today at the end of your Shabbat. I know it's the end of our Shabbat. So what I want to do is continue on what we were talking about last week. I'm going to this is really kind of informal. You're basically sitting at my kitchen table. Yes, it's log, and I love log furniture because it lasts. You can stand on it and jump around on it, and it doesn't fall apart like everything from China does. So it's a little hard to tote around with you when you're homeless, but nevertheless, it has stayed with us this whole time. So this is our kitchen table, and this is just this is a series of how to take care of the temple. So I'm going to start off with my homemade slides. I just decided, like I said last week, I just needed a break from Prezi and the computer, and so I wanted to do things more hands-on, so I made some slides. So we're going to just real quick review last week, okay? And all week long as I'm sleeping, I wake up in the morning and the Ruach she downloads in the morning. Oh, right, as at 3 o'clock in the morning, whenever she wants to. And a lot of times I will get up and I will fumble around in the dark for a piece of paper and a pen so I can write down what I what came to me. And there were some things that I forgot to mention last week in the different categories. So we're just going to walk through some of these different categories here again. But first, I want to tell you that the truth of the matter is, let me see if I can find, I think I'll put it right. Yeah, I'll put it right here. The truth is that you were bought by Yeshua. Okay? The truth of the matter, we're going to start right here today. That you were bought by Yeshua. And you were therefore rescued from the adversary. And his name is Hasatan. Hasatan means the adversary. As in Yehovah Elohim's adversary. Like the adversary. Okay, so you were bought by Yeshua and rescued from the adversary. Therefore, you are not your own. And I'm speaking to believers. I'm speaking to people who are repenting, who have repented and turned back to the ways of Yehovah Elohim and want to obey. Okay, so I'm speaking to not the general. I'm not speaking to a pagan. I'm not speaking to a general. What you have to, walk this path to understand that you were bought with a price. So therefore, you are not your own. Not as in, where is it? Not. You're not your own. Do you understand that? You are not your own because you were bought. Okay? But he bought you with his blood, so he paid a huge price for you. And he bought you with his blood so that, so that he could set you free. Okay? So he bought you with his blood so that he could set you free. And you say, free to do what? This is a huge question. Free to do what? You are free to say yes, to say no. You are a free entity. He set you free so that you could have life abundant. So that you could obey. So you could get the happily ever after. So you could choose. Because Hasatan holds you as captive and he doesn't want you to choose. You are born into this planet. Born into sin when you're born into this planet, and Hasatan has claim on you the moment you're born. You don't choose Hasatan. You actually have to choose Yehovah Elohim. Okay? So if you just go through your whole life like this, la 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 la, everything's, you are not going anywhere but to where Hasatan is going. Okay? So you're going to go into separation from Yehovah Elohim because the planet was taken hostage. Hasatan has that title deed. He owned prior to Yeshua. And with the planet comes, he's the prince of this world still, but he has the title deed, which means that he actually has ownership of everything on this planet. In some legal aspects, he does. So we're not discussing that today or going into depth about that. But the idea is that you were not free to begin with. Okay, you were actually Hasatan's. And then you found out that you could get free. You found out that, oh my, I can get off of this planet. At some point I can experience the happily ever after. And I can go back to where I belong, which is in the arms of Yehovah Elohim, in the family of Elohim, Yehovah Elohim's family. So he bought you. Yeshua bought you and paid the price to redeem you out of Hasatan's control, and he did that so that he could set you free to be everything that they intended you to be in the first place. Okay, this isn't into this isn't into slavery again, although Shaul talks about being a slave to righteousness, to being a slave to Elohim, and when you do work for him, it is like that. You are, in the sense of, you want to. You're a what's it called, where you put the owl through your ear. You're a bond servant because you love him so much. We're going to talk about that. But the idea is that he rescued you from Hasatan. He bought you to set you free to choose him, to set you free to love him, to set you free to have that abundant life. And that is super important to sit with and remember and learn, actually. And he also, one thing that he set you free to be his temple. Okay? So Yeshua bought you from Hasatan purchased you from Hasatan with his blood to set you free so that you could then be the temple for Yehovah Elohim. Do you understand that? Okay, so therefore, my friend, you are not your own temple. You are not your own. So you don't get to go around and say, I get to do anything I want with my body. I might have to surrender my heart and my beliefs to him. And so I can know all things and have all truth, but I can go ahead and not surrender my body. That is not the way it works, because it is not your temple. It is his temple. Okay, it is now, because you are bought with a price, you are his temple. So you have absolutely, people, no right. You have absolutely no right. You have no right to trash his temple. Okay, so let's see how'd that go. You have no right to trash his temple. Okay? No right to trash his temple. You have no right to trash his temple. So again, like I said last week, you know, people that get together for oneg or potluck, they have their table spread with all kinds of like books and Bibles and study guides and concordances and Hebrew Bibles and Hebrew this and everything, and they're studying so hard to find that one word, to make sure it's the right word. And then they get up from that table after hours and hours of studying and really sinking deep into the word and chewing on it, and they go to the kitchen and they start to like put into their mouth all this GMO stuff and all this yuck sugar and pre-processed or prepackaged processed food, and they don't care about the temple, or they're sitting inside while they're studying, maybe in closed quarters with no fresh air, or they after Shabbat they stay up until midnight watching movies, or trashy movies, or they eating chocolate and popcorn and or even too much alcohol, right? Or just until they pass out on the couch, and then you don't get up early the next morning and get some fresh air and get some exercise and move. And or there's all kinds of ways to trash your temple, okay, besides the idolatry that we talk about all the time. Idolatry is huge, but maybe in some regard, if you think you're your own temple for the most part, and you can body wise, and then you can trash it, maybe you do think that you're your own God, and so maybe that is a form of idolatry, actually, now that I think about it. So this is what I want to do in this series on health, is to help you consider it your job as a Melchizedek priest to take good care of Yehovah's temple, your body. All right? So I want you to understand that it's your job as a Melchizedek priest who is a temple for Yehovah, that it's your job to take care of this temple. Okay? And one of the reasons is that you have 120 years to work for the kingdom if you don't trash it. If you trash it, then, you're not going to live that long, and you can't do that much work for him. You won't have the endurance. You won't have the mental capability. You'll die young. You'll get the diseases of the nations, perhaps. You'll get whatever. It's like you've got to learn how to take care of your temple in many ways. You've got to take care of the mind and the heart and the body and the spiritual body and everything. So it's like a full-time job, people, especially today. Because frankly, we are all living on a poisoned planet. Okay? So it's difficult. We're not living out in nature the way it was intended, and even the way they did 150, 200 years ago was a lot more healthy than it is now, depending on where you were. I wouldn't say it was healthier in London or in the cities or working in a coal mine or anything like that. But for the most part, they lived outside more, which was a good thing, depending on where you lived. But I tell you, we're living on a poison planet, so we are breathing in a ton of poison all the time. I mean, not only do we have the poison of TV and internet and all the things that are bombarding our brain through our eyes and our ears, and are trying to access our hearts, but we are bombarded by chemical stuff that they're spraying everywhere, and that's huge, and the stuff that they're doing to change the DNA of food molecules, and it actually, when it goes in you, it actually changes your own DNA, and it's harmful. This is not a good thing, people. This is not a good thing. Oh my. So, you are going to, sometimes I hear people say, well, I prayed for healing and da 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 da, and I'm walking the path, and why do bad things happen to good people? And I'm following the covenant, I'm following the Torah, I'm keeping the Shabbats, I'm doing everything, I'm staying kosher and all that, but I'm still having these problems. Well, I have to say, for one, you have to remember we are all living on a poison planet. Okay, that's number one to remember. Number two is, and then we're going to be affected by that. Okay. That literally we are affected by our environment, and there's some, we can control a lot of it, some things we can't control, and so we're going to pay some consequences just for living on a poison planet. All right, and then number two, you've got to remember that we're going to pay for past sins. Just because you come into this movement and you into this understanding and this knowledge, and you start walking in this path of understanding and obedience, doesn't mean that all of a sudden everything's going to go away. Now, there could be exceptions. I'm not saying there's not, but you're going to pay lifelong consequences for what you did in your 20s. Okay, it's just the way it is. And so if in your 20s you took great care of yourself, and you're reaping the benefits of that when you're in your older age, 50, 60, whatever, great. That is super cool. You got to bypass a ton of stuff. That's really cool. But let's say, in your 20s it wasn't so good. Let's say you trashed your body, you trashed your temple in the 20s. There's some things that I did in my 20s that I'm paying consequences for now. I have prayed for healing from it, and I haven't gotten it completely healed. And it could be just one of those things, like a thorn in the flesh idea, like Shaul has. I talk as if he's in first person. I mean, first person, as if he's here. Anyway, but you're gonna pay for trash in your body early on. Now, I love the idea that, not just the idea, I love the truth that your body actually regenerates new cells every 12 months. You have new red blood cells, and so you actually get a chance at cleaning up the stuff that you did earlier in your life. And you can make great changes today to help the rest of your life, not just today and this week, but the rest of the years that you're here. And hopefully you can get many of those 120 allotted years to work for the King in the bond servant idea, where you were bought. Now you're like, okay, I'm indebted to you because you gave me life, and you brought me away from that evil one, and where, got me set free from the world that's going to be, it's going to fall down and collapse into the pit of despair. I get to be set free from it. So now I owe you everything. So how can I live for you for the rest of my life? And you could get a large part of that 120 years, I seriously believe, if you follow some good health practices for your body and your heart and your mind. But you are, we are a product of our environment on one hand, and a product of our parents, and a product of our past. So don't freak out. I mean, I think freaking out about it is probably worse for you than just dealing with whatever it is that you're dealing with and trying to make new changes in habits right now for the future. And then definitely don't forget that genetics has a large part to play in it too. How healthy you are, genetics. Where did you come from? What kind of stock did you come from? There's healing, absolutely. I believe that. But I also believe that he wants to walk us through this process of learning to take care of his temple. Like, how can he trust you with his treasures if you can't take care of the one treasure he's given you right here, which is your body, right? This is yours. This is your domain. This isn't owned by anybody else but you, until you actually give yourself over to him. Then all of a sudden it's not yours anymore, and you have to take care of this for him. So it's like a kingdom treasure, I think. When I look at it, I'm like, this is the kingdom treasure that he's given me. If I take care of this well, then he will trust me with more things, right? So I think it's, I believe he wants to restore us and give us straight healing, miraculous healing, just like Yeshua did for so many people. But I also believe that there is growth time and the seasons where he wants to teach us something. And sometimes, it could be that we're gonna pay consequences for what we did in the past, and he's gonna walk us through that, and we're gonna learn how to clean ourselves up. And in doing, we're going to help other people as well, but we're also going to learn to take care of, he's like training us, to take care of the things that he gives us so he can give you more. That's the idea, right? More life, more abundant life. So, and like I said last week, another reason here to take care of your body is that you are an image bearer. So in the feminine and the masculine form, you are an image bearer, which is super important to bear the image properly. And in a way that actually looks, I tell you, I was out and about yesterday, and man, even for the people that I could tell were actually females and the ones that were actually males, don't get me started again on the other. We already went that. We had shows about that. But they look sick. Oh my, they look so sick and so unhealthy and so overweight and so pale, and they're walking around with these big slushies, and obviously not believers in my opinion. If they are, they sure don't look it. They're obviously not taking care of themselves at all. So I just think as believers in the Melchizedek Priesthood that we should be like, way up here with how we take care of our bodies and what our homes are like, and the routines with which we live, and how we treat our animals, and and then all of that will reflect on how we treat the spiritual gifts that he gives us. The gifts and callings that he gives us, those are gifts. Those are precious treasures, but also knowledge, like things I have, boxes full of, things that I've written about, the beautiful kingdom treasures that he's given to me. And so when he gives me a treasure, like during a feast time, and I'll have this aha moment, and I'm like, whoa, thank you so much for giving me that. And I have, getting more and more clarity, more and more eyes to see. I don't just take it and just throw it away. I actually take the time to, I'm just writing it down, like, like somebody the other day said, you remind me of a scribe, Rebekah. I'm like, how can I remember this? How can I take care of the gift that he's given me? How can I take care of that epiphany, that kingdom treasure? Well, it's the same thing with our bodies, okay? So in this idea that, in the mikvah, how we talked about last week, the mikvah, in the idea that we're dead already. So the idea being that you've been bought, as in you died with him, then you raised to life, and the only reason that you get to come out on the other side of that mikvah is because of the work he has done and how he has bought you. And so, if it was up to Hasatan, you'd be dead, and if it's up to Yeshua, you'll have life. And if you choose Yeshua, then you're going to die with him, and then you're going to raise to life with him. And on the other side of that mikvah, you owe him for every single breath you take. And on the other side of that mikvah, now the realization should hit you that this body is not yours at all. It's not yours. It's not Hasatan's anymore. It is Yeshua's. And so you're going to begin the process of cleaning it up if you have trashed it before. And we've all done trashing. We've all trashed our bodies. And we go throughout the course of time, and we continue to. We're continuing to wake up to things. Where we live, what we're eating, what we're intaking with our eyes and our ears or our mouth, or just detoxing from things we've done in the past, or maybe we have a binge week where we're eating too many brownies. You got to clean up with a fast, so it's just this, it's a constant process. But if you think about the brick and mortar temple back in the temple periods, they didn't just the priest didn't just waltz around in there and never clean it. That's what their job was. Their job was to take care of the temple. They took care of the menorah, they trimmed the wicks, they cleaned things. I mean, good grief, there was so much blood everywhere. They were washing their clothes constantly. They were probably mopping up the floors constantly, from everything. And then the outer court where everyone was, I mean, they were constantly keeping it clean. That's our job. There's no brick and mortar temple anymore. The temple's right here. So you need to be cleaning your temple constantly. All right, the temple of your children, the temple of yourself, the temple of your home. That's your job. That's one of your jobs. And if you can't do that, then you shouldn't be out teaching anybody anything spiritual, because you got to be able to do that first. Nobody's going to want to walk over garbage. In fact, I think this is the story I have in here during the show here. You're gonna like. It talks about garbage. Anyway, you'll see the lion and the garbage. But anyway, so we have to answer the question: can the Ruach HaKodesh live in my heart? Can the Ruach HaKodesh live in my heart? Is it filthy, full of idolatry? Well, get rid of it. Is my body okay? That says heart too, and it also should say body as well, because your body's the temple. She's going to inhabit you, right? She's going to possess you. So the Ruach HaKodesh, she wants to live in you, and in your heart and in your body. She wants to, move through you and tell you where to go and who to help and who to love, and she wants to love through you, and she wants to use your arms to wrap around somebody. But if you're unhealthy, how are you going to get out of your house and go do that, right? So we are going to come back here. I'm going to play a segment for you. We're going to come back and we are going to start to go through again my Rebekah's top 10 health habits. Okay, I am no doctor and no nutritionalist or guru on that stuff, but I am definitely a mom guru on health. Okay, so we'll be right back. All right, welcome to beautiful Hayden Lake, Idaho. I am Rebekah Bat Yehovah, back for another song with my very, very good friend Bruce. We go way back, and we are going to sing some 60s and 70s camp songs, because that's what we love. Right there. Humble thyself in the sight of Yahweh. Humble thyself in the sight of Yahweh. And He shall lift you up higher and higher. And He shall lift you up. Feast or fast in the sight of Yahweh. Okay. All right. So let's, I love that song. Okay. So let's talk again about Rebekah's top 10 health habits. All right. So we're going to I'm going to go through them real quick. I had a couple things I wanted to add to it. So sleep. We talked about sleep last week. And I just wanted to mention about eating late at night. That definitely affects sleep a ton. So we talked about all kinds of things, you know, sleep with the window open if you can, or cracked at least if it's safe. You know, so you're getting some fresh air while you sleep. That's the best. And then if you eat really late at night, okay, really stupid, you know, and you can't sleep. Well, duh, you can't sleep because your body's like, you know, trying to fix itself and go through those cycles, but it's got to deal with all this food sitting in your stomach. So, you know, some of my best, we're going to talk, you know what, I don't know if I have it or not, but I'll just tell you right here, one of my best ways to kind of control my weight as a girl, you know, which I think I am going to talk about later, but one of the ways is to not eat dinner. That's like, you know, have a fruit for dinner, have a bowl of applesauce or something really light to just go through you really fast if you have to. But don't eat dinner. Eat, you know, 2 meals a day and you'll sleep better. Trust me, you'll sleep better. I was going to mention last week that, you know, I'm up. Well, maybe that was in the other. But anyway, I'm like this girl that likes to get up early, go to bed early, get up early. And I don't know if you've ever seen Beverly Hillbillies, the black and white show from a long time ago. We love that show. I love that show. And I'm just like Granny, because I'm like, you know, by 6:30 in the morning, I'm like, hey, half the day's gone, get up. So yeah, 6:30, I'm like, been working for a few hours already. So, okay, also clean water. We want to, I just wanted to, we talked about that last week, about keeping your stuff in glass bottles or stainless steel. I also just wanted to mention that as far as clean water goes, when you go get, like, if you're, I don't know, if you're traveling or something, or somebody hands you a plastic water bottle, like the water bottles, you know, that you can get in Costco by the, you know, palletfuls or whatnot, those aren't so good for you, okay? Just be more proactive in caring about what kind of water you intake. So that water, I'm sure it's better than no water, but at the same time, the plastic is leaching into the water. So one rule of thumb for you is if the plastic, the harder the plastic, the better. So if you go into a convenience store and you open up the door and you feel all the bottles of water, don't get the cheap one that's like really squishy, because that's really soft plastic and that's going to leach into your water a lot more than the hard plastic, okay? So definitely, if you have to use a water bottle that is plastic, use a harder one. And the ones that are BPA free are like the best. Okay, we also talked last time about stress control. And I think I had something else I wanted to say about this. But one thing I do want you to know is we're going to talk a lot about this when we get to the next week, when we talk about our heart and our mind, then stress control, okay? Because that's huge, 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 huge. But it has to do with trust. A lot of it has to do with trust. But I did give you some suggestions last week. So if you haven't watched last week's show, go watch last week's show, okay? We talked about nutritious food, not just food with empty calories to fill our stomachs, can stop it from grumbling at us, from growling. Excuse me. But a couple things that I wanted to mention here is, like, when you go out to eat, there's a lot of ways that you can do that and still, you know, care about the nutrients that go in your body. You know, really look hard at the quality of ingredients. Look at, you know, be careful about what restaurant you go to and stuff. But one thing that Isaac and I do, the girls, we've always done, well, since we really got real poor, actually, is what we've done. It's something that we learned at the TP. We would share a food. So we'd get one thing and share it. And frankly, that, you know, a lot of times when you go out to eat, you don't need to fill up. It's more about the experience. So when you go out to eat, you're really buying the experience. So you're buying the idea of being out in a pretty place, kind of romantic, whatever, you know, or you're buying easy. You know, you're also buying easy. I don't have to clean up and do the dishes and stuff. So, you know, it's something to think about, is sharing food. You might do that already, but Isaac and I, when we go out, we don't rarely get our own meal. We like get one meal and share it. That's a good way to save some money as well. Another thing I wanted to mention in this section here, I forgot last week, is gum. When you get gum to eat, like if it says sugar-free, throw it out of your hands. You don't want it, because that stuff has that nutria. Oh, now I just forgot the words. The stuff that does lobotomy on the brain. So it's sweetened with stevia, not stevia. Stevia is okay. So if it's sweetened with stevia, that's okay. But if it says sugarless gum on it, you don't want it. Okay, it would be better to have just the sugared gum. Okay, because then it's real sugar and your body can deal with that a lot better than the kind that it chews up your brain, actually. Okay, so you don't want sugarless gum. And another thing that I wanted to mention here is wine. I remember I had the wine I showed you. One thing that I just found out, I get notices from all kinds of different places, kind of keeping tabs on what's going on in the agricultural world, our food world. I think it's organic consumers. But the wine, as far as I understand, every wine, even organic wine, all over the U.S., tested positive for the chemical that they spray the fields with. So that's super disheartening. I think I found that out this last week. So just so you know, when you go get organic wine from California, from wherever in America, most likely it has tested positive for some traces of that chemical that they spray. Ammonium glutamate, I can't remember what it is. Anyway, I can't ever say it. But anyway, so you're probably better off to get an Italian organic wine or something like that from over there, because they seem to care about what goes in their food a lot more than we do over here. It's so stupid. Anyway, one thing that I didn't mention here when I was talking about this, I don't think I did, at least, here's a word picture for you, okay? The scriptures actually paints a word picture for you. It's super cool. It says in the Brit Hadashah, in the New Testament, it says you cannot eat from Yah's table and the table of demons. You cannot eat from Papa's table and Hasatan's table, okay? So most of the time when we think of that and we look at that text, and when I talk about that text, I'm talking about the feast, okay? You can't have Hanukkah and Christmas in the same room. You can't eat from both of those tables, because Christmas or Hanukkah is a celebration of freedom from Christmas, which is pagan sun god worship, okay? And Hanukkah is all about freedom from pagan sun god worship. All right, so you can't eat from the same table in that sense. You can take that into so many levels. But if you really look at it, on your table, you cannot eat from Hasatan's. You can't eat from Yeshua's table and Hasatan's table, in the sense of on your table, what are you putting? You're eating from, spiritually, you're eating from Yeshua, you're eating from Yehovah, you're eating from the Ruach HaKodesh, you're eating all this wonderful, nutritious spiritual food, and then you go and you sit down at your table and you eat all this junk and this crap. You can't do that. It can't be in the same place. So the Ruach who lives here needs you to fill this temple with good spiritual food and fill your temple with good physical food, okay? All right. And then also on this, I just have a little note to talk about controlling your food intake is huge. So I've gone through, in my, late teens, early 20s, I struggled with bulimia and anorexia. So huge stories. I don't know if I have time to go through those today, but those are huge stories, and how I got freedom from that is a pretty cool story. But it has, like, you can be walked into freedom from food disorders, okay? This is not the show to help you with getting freedom from food disorders. I have had food disorders, and I just want you to know you can be set free. And it's not going to be where you take a calendar and you say, overcame. Oh, I blew it. Okay, I can keep blowing it. And then I try again. It's so much inertia. It takes so much energy and so much inertia to get that. Okay, I'm going to start that. I'm not going to eat that second plate. I'm not going to have that second. how I grew up was like I got a lot of love from my dad if I could basically match him in how much I ate. So if I had the second plate of food, you know, I wasn't listening to my body. No one ever taught me how to listen to my body and say, no, you're full now, or eat slow enough to know that you are full. I still struggle with that. You know, sometimes I'm so busy that I just shove food in so fast because I know I need the fuel, I need the food, and I want the food, but I'm so busy that I don't have time to actually sit down and actually chew my food slow enough. So my family can attest to this. If they were here, they would be laughing their head off. They would go, yeah, that's mom. But you know, you can learn new things, and I have learned and I've got some more new things to learn for sure. But you can control the food. That's the whole goal. The food has a purpose. The food is here to give you energy so you can continue to work for the King, right? And to look forward to the happily ever after, and to live abundantly. And so that the food has a purpose. If you're using it to like help you with, you know, like dealing with life, and you're using it for stress control and stuff, then it's going to work against you. And maybe we will be able to chat about that a little bit more, because I bet you anything that some of you that are watching right now would say, yeah, that's my problem. It's huge. It controlled me for a very long time, and it was very hard to deal with and to put up with during those times. And I was super thankful to all of a sudden be put into a situation where I was set free from it, because frankly I didn't have, there was no food around. So I lost the ability to just open the fridge and look inside and drool and just take whatever I wanted. I lost that. And in losing that, I got freedom from these food disorders because I didn't have the food around. It just really wasn't available to me. And so anyway, that is huge, and I think maybe we should just come back to that. So don't worry, I will talk about that more someday if you'd like to hear some more on that. And if not, I just pray that you get freedom from that, because food can just like water, you know, as a swim person and lifeguard, water can be your friend and it can be your enemy. It's the same with food. It can be your friend and it can be your enemy, right? We all us girls know that real well. All right, we're going to also, we talked last week about the work-rest rhythm. One of the things that I wanted to mention here, and this was basically the idea of every day you have this rhythm. You know, you get up with the sun, you go down with the sun. You need a rhythm in your body, and Papa's put the sun in the sky to help us with this rhythm. And unfortunately, we decide that, you know, we should be able to have the lights on until stupid 30 in the morning, and it throws our rhythm off in our body for sleep and everything. It just messes with you and it'll cause disease. But one of the, you know, and then the week rhythm with taking Shabbat off, the 7th day off, and then the yearly rhythm with the holy days and stuff. But also, you know, I try to turn my computers off every Shabbat. So this part of my prep day is cleaning off my desk, putting everything basically that I didn't get done into a pile, closing the computer, shutting it off. And it's this rhythm to say, I am done and I'm going to do this other thing. I'm going to rest for Shabbat, and then I will go back to that. So just wanted to mention that. I think we also talked about movement a little bit last week. Something that I wanted to mention was I am constantly working on my posture. I don't know about you, but I feel the effects of gravity. Oh my gosh. Like, gravity is so tough because it feels like it's getting heavier and heavier, like more oppressive. I don't know about you, but it just feels very oppressive. And, you know, trying to stay feeling like light, or like that you're floating a little bit, I just feel the weight of it. So this constant trying to you know, taking care of the posture is a big deal. So that is part of movement. Okay, so in gentle exercise, you know, I'm not talking about hardcore going out there and being muscle woman of the year or man of the year, but definitely like movement. And a lot of times, you know, when we were at the teepee, our movement was working. We actually worked, you know, like digging in the ground work, you know, like digging a hole, you know, like moving dirt, moving sod, you know, creating spaces and trails. And that was so physical that, you know, we were working out all day long. And I was super fit. Isaac was super fit. It's just the way the lifestyle was. It's different here, you know. In an apartment, it's just totally different. So it's you know, gentle exercise. I love walking and a little bit of jogging and stuff, I love stretching, and I love weights. So you know, I don't like feeling like my muscles are atrophying, because that's what I feel like sometimes. Like now, I was like, oh, I'm struggling with that a little bit, you know, especially coming from a very active background. I'm like, feel like I'm atrophying, but we'll change that. That's the one beautiful thing about our life here, is there's room for change. Change is for sure. There's always change, and that's a good thing. That is a really good thing. Change, you want that. I'm so thankful for that. You know, if there was no change, then there'd be no hope. I love the change. Okay, and then also I was going to mention that when I had Isaac build my desks back in the day when I had office spaces and stuff, he built them high so I could stand. So, you know, I was very careful about where my arm placement was, and so I could stand, and I would have my foot up on the desk stretching and my employees would come in, they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm stretching. They just got used to it, because I was also stressing. I was always doing, you know, like, you know, push-ups at the desk while I'm working, things like that. So I don't think I would make a good, you know, bank teller or anything like that has to stay still very long, because I have to keep moving, and we should. That's part of staying healthy. And then one other thing I just wanted to mention is, like, on Shabbat. Okay, so Shabbat can be a horrible day physically, because we're so used to, we're moving all week long. We have somewhat of a rhythm going with school or work or whatever, and then we come to Shabbat, and you know, then all of a sudden we're like, stop, do nothing. That's not so healthy, I don't think. And, you know, I can get major migraines on Shabbat. You know, some of it is oppressive. I know some of it is genomic, I'm sure, but a lot of it too is just the no movement. So back in the day when we were going to church, it was like you get up and you get ready and you have this morning routine for Shabbat, and you're out of the door by 9 and you're in Sabbath school by 9:30, and you know, you have this routine, and it kind of gets you moving. And so, you know, and when I was a kid, it was constant backpacking, constant hiking on Shabbat, you know, just always out and about. And when we're, you know, when it's summer here, we are constantly out in the woods. But during the winter, in the woods or at the beach, actually. But in the winter, it's pretty tough. I mean, I can get major headaches and so last week, Isaac and I decided that we were going to go on a walk, but we also came back and did a stretching video. So we actually stretched in the morning, and it felt so good. So taking care of your Shabbats, you know, and movement-wise, super good. So just laying on your bed all day long is not healthy. Oh my, I just remembered. Oh my gosh, I got to tell this to you. I got a message from somebody who was watching one of my videos. Oh my gosh, it was from a guy. Get this, talk about jerk. Oh my gosh. He said, we're supposed to lay flat in bed all day long on Shabbat. We are not supposed to move or get up. And he said, I have my wife get me my meal and bring it into me for Shabbat so that I don't have to move. I was undone. That dude is a jerk. Oh my, I have words. I have so many words that's not appropriate for this this show. Oh my. He was a jerk. I couldn't believe it. And he went off, and I just went block, delete. Okay. I know, right? All right, and then we talked about clean, fresh air. Something I just wanted to mention again here is if you live in smog or pollution or however it's called, it's also called inversion, which is just basically smog, people. It's some sort of, you know, fancy way of saying smog. If you live in smog, pollution, and the air is, you know, awful. Every time you breathe it in, you're breathing in pollutants. Move! 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 Move. You gotta take care of your body, right? Okay, I have another segment for you, and then we will come back and we will finish my baskets. Yeah. All right. God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, then you are part of the scattered. And there's a prophecy that says that Yahweh Elohim, Yah will plant you in the land permanently. But before then, perhaps you'll get to visit.
Last Sukkot, we went to visit Israel.
Yes, we did, and we had a good time, didn't we? And so today, Hadassah and I have 3 travel tips for you. The first travel tip is how to say
good morning and good night
in Hebrew, right? So, Hadassah, how do you say good morning in Hebrew?
Boker Tov.
Boker Tov. How do you spell it? B-O-K-E-R.
Boker
Tov.
Tov.
Tov. And how do you, that looks like toy. Tov. And how do you say good night in Hebrew?
Laila Tov.
How do you spell Lila? You tell me how to spell Lila. How do you spell Lila?
L-A-Y.
L-A. L-A. Lila.
Lila.
Tov. Lila Tov.
Laila Tov.
Boker Tov. Lila Tov. These are words that I wish I had known when I was in Israel last year, so that it would have made talking to the locals a little bit easier. So, travel tip number 2 is when you go there, make sure that, of course, bring your clothes. Oh yes, and a little jacket because it does get a little chilly, but also when you're there, make sure and pick up some sort of, I don't know, purse or trinket, something with the word Jerusalem on it. Right? You gotta have that. You gotta have something that says Jerusalem on it. Yerushalayim, right? So then travel tip number 3 is if you go to Israel during a feast, because we went during Sukkot last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
They actually, there are so many things that are closed during the feast. So if you expect to have everything open during a feast, it's not going to happen. There are Arab things that are open, but not Jewish things. So just remember when you go over during a feast that it may be a little bit hard to find food at certain times of the week or the day, depending on the feast. So there you have it. Hadassah and my travel tips for you today.
I can't wait to meet you in Israel.
Yes, so remember, it's Papa's land, it's Yah's land, so no matter what people are doing on it or to it right now, the prophecy says that one day the scattered will come back, clean it up, and call it home.
God bless your journey
to the land.
To his land.
To his land. Okay, so I just wanted to, before I move on here, I wanted to read some encouragement here, and I'm going to show you Hadassah's artwork. There's her artwork for week 13, some wheat that she drew. Okay, so I'm going to read this to you. I think this is lovely. All right, from Cindy. She says, I see your zealousness and passion for another festival has ignited. They always look so inviting, my lovely friend. Great gifts of ministry the Garvin family has. As ministers, all I see your family do is serve, serve, and more serve. Yeah. Please send our love to Isaac and the girls. Beautiful they both are. I see your beautiful, sweet pictures, your gorgeous face, and she said my rockin' body. Yeah. Vibrant, glamorous, great smile, and a husband who allows you freedom to blossom. And while he simply adores you. Oh, you have mostly, yes, okay, so sweet, caring, considerate, yet wise, and yeah. So if ever and the enemy tries to make you feel anything else, let him know who you are because of whose you are. You are blessed and highly favored. Love you all much and pray for you often. I believe Abba will send much to his ministry, my friends. I don't believe it's ever been about us, but always about him. I see your family's desires, blessings, and shalom. Thank you, Cindy. Yay. All right. Very cool. Thank you. I like those. All right, so we're going to continue on with what we're looking at here. So we talked about sunshine two times ago, I think, but I wanted to show you some products that I use for sunshine. So sunshine is one of my top 10. Remember, we're going through the top 10, my top 10 health habits. So getting sunshine is a huge one to me, absolutely huge, okay? So, you know, and a lot of times, just so you know, I try not to wear sunglasses absolutely all the time because aren't they cute? But you gotta be careful what kind of sunglasses you get. I was lifeguard and I spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on nice sunglasses, and of course I would lose them, break them, step on them, they would fall into the pool, you know, all kinds of stuff. But you do want sun to come into your eyes, so I wouldn't suggest wearing sunglasses all summer long. And be careful what kind of sunglasses you get. Not the cheap kind. You need a good quality kind, but you don't need the $175 kind that I would get and lose. But so I use olive oil to sunbathe in. And I think Allie told me that she told everyone that I think pomegranate oil also is great to sunbathe with. This also acts as a bug repellent, actually. When we were at the teepee, I would work outside in my bikini in the garden, and I would be slathered with olive oil. And the kids and Isaac, they don't like the olive oil on, and so they wouldn't have anything on. And when it was mosquito season, they would have tons of bites, and I would have no bites. And we watched one day, I was slathered with oil and saw this mosquito come and just bound. He didn't want to even get onto my skin because he would get stuck. So you don't need the heavy duty bug sprays. Just use olive oil, you know. It's super good for you. Good, nice, cold pressed olive oil. Your skin will eat it and you'll be healthier inside as well. So then, but sometimes if we're going to be out in the sun a very long time, and I know that we may get, you know, too much sun, we don't want to burn, I get zinc oxide. So this is Badger. This is like super clean. This is not cancer causing or anything. So I have a block and I have some of the lotion. So I will put this on if we're going to be out in a very long time, but a lot of times if it's, you know, I have certain sensitive places, then this goes like right on my nose or on my shoulders. But sunshine is so important. You must have sunshine. So it helps with the rhythm of sleep. You're like a solar panel out there, you know, getting the sun in, and you're building your immune system. Sunshine, you know, people used to put stuff outside, the blankets and stuff outside. When we're camping, we do that, right? You put your blankets outside and it kills stuff, you know, it cleans it. Basically, the sun will clean stuff. You know, disinfect. That's the word I'm looking for. Disinfect stuff. So it's super important to get light. And like I said before, I tan slowly, so I'm very, very big into that. I go out in the spring when you have the sun of the springtime. I go out for 5-10 minutes, and then the next day I go out again for just the same time or a little bit more. I kind of keep extending that time so that I'm developing a slow exposure to the sun so that I tan, because tanning is what Yahweh made your body to do to protect you from the sun, and to cover it up and slather it with chemical sunscreen, and sunscreen is full of chemicals, people. It is super bad for you. It causes skin cancer. Like I said before, when Copper Tone Baby came out in the 50s, 60s, you can see the two graphs side by side. As the production of that sunscreen went up and people bought it, the amount of skin cancer rose at the very same rate. So you have to wonder what they've done for thousands and thousands of years, because people didn't die from cancer like they are dying like flies now from cancer. And it has to do with the chemicals, okay? We are soft tissue. You have to be careful what you put in you, which leads me to DNA protection. Okay, this is one of my top 10 things that I do, my habits for health. And I work very hard to try to protect our DNA here in the home. There is all kinds of things. So there's chemicals in the food you eat. There's genetically modified organisms in the food we eat. There's chemicals in the stuff that we put on ourselves, in the form of cosmetics and lotions and all that jazz. There's also the EMFs, the radiation from our phones. And I have to say, this is one that I'm not sure how to handle, because I'm in this space right here, and I have a ton of internet. So I've got a ton of EMFs around, and EMRs, sorry, magnetic, what's it called? That's electromagnetic radiation. Thank you. Electromagnetic radiation. Not good for you. Holding your phone like this to your ear, that's not so good for you. I mean, there's research coming out that that's not so good. That causes tumors and stuff. So, one thing that I am doing for sure is reducing my time here as much as I can. But I keep this outside of my bedroom. Like, I don't have it right next to me. So you really shouldn't be sleeping with your phone next to you. You can use earbuds, which is something I haven't quite, mastered yet, but using earbuds if you talk or listen to music, that sort of thing. But frankly, like, we live in a nice place, but we're like down the hill from 3 cell towers. I mean, like, who knows what that's doing? So like I said, remember, we live in a poisoned planet, and there's a lot of things we can control, and there's a lot of stuff, there's some stuff that we cannot control. So we do our best. I know that there's shields and there's guards, and they're kind of expensive, but at some point I'm going to do that. I'm going to get a shield for this, because they actually can test. They can put a device here and they can see how much it's radiating, and then they have this special cover, and you can put it in there, and then it doesn't radiate anything. That'd be super cool. But then I don't know, what do you do with the internet in your house? So there's just a lot there. But we're going to look at DNA protection just for the sun. I just forgot. Oh, yes. And wear a hat. Wear a hat sometimes in the sun. So if it's too bad, wear a hat. Maybe I should just leave that on. Okay. So we're going to look at this basket, okay? This is my laundry, this is just a basket full of, it's not my laundry basket. This is a basket that we had at the teepee. I absolutely love this basket. But there's a couple things in here I want to talk about. For one, we're going to talk about, like, your laundry detergent. Now, I have something super cool that I want to share with you. It is called Think Dirty, or Skin Deep. You can get their apps for your phone. There's Think Dirty app, and there is Healthy Living. I think it's Healthy Living, but it used to be Skin Deep. But you can go into this app, and you can actually scan a product. So here, let's see if this works. So scanned a product. Sometimes it doesn't have it. like Maggie says a lot of times, but I used to use it a ton. So ECOS. ECOS. I always get that wrong. COS. So you can actually go in here and you can look up products if you need to. So let's see, where is it? I need my glasses, and it's been a little while since I've been on here. I used to use this all the time. I used to go into the store and literally be bar scanning everything that I put my hand to and go, what is the cancer causing thing? So here we have, let's just say a 7th generation. This is not 7th generation, but, oh, it's not going to let me unless I log in. So let me do this here. That's why. Okay, so I'm just going to do this real quick for the sake of time. But this is ECOS, but there's 7th generation stuff, and it will show you. I don't know if you can see there, but you see that green, the green little box over there, and it has a 0 in it. That basically means it is 0 carcinogens, as in it doesn't cause cancer. There's nothing in it that will cause cancer. But as you scan products, the products will show up here, and the color will change to like yellow if it's, there's some stuff in it, and they'll turn to red when it's like, yes, this is super cancer causing. They know that the ingredients have been proven to cause cancer. So those are the products you want to stay away from. You want to fill your house, excuse me, with products that are safe. All right, so I'm very careful about what kind of products I put in here in our home, in our laundry. Now, as far as, oh my goodness, like, please tell me why people need laundry or dryer sheets. Please don't use dryer sheets. Dryer sheets are awful. For one, the chemicals in there are unbelievable. And the smell is atrocious. I feel like sometimes when I walk past someone, I can smell either they just came from a perfumery or they came from the dryer because they smell like a dryer sheet. Don't do that. There's no need to do that. Hang your stuff out. If you want fresh air, want to smell like a fresh air sort of thing, hang it outside. If you don't like the smell of something, honestly, like say it has a musty sort of smell, but it's really not dirty, it's just a musty smell and you don't really want to wash it, hang it outside. Hang it outside and the fresh air will take the smell away. It's awesome. And the sunshine will do that too. But I wanted to show you another, this goes back to the food. I'll do that later. But anyway, there are Healthy Living Skin Deep. I don't know if you see that. Skin Deep food scores. And it also has products. This has awesome products. So let's see if it will scan this, because this should be in their database. This is a normal one. Whoops. Let's do that again. There we go. Scan it. Oh shoot, I can't see it. Anyway, these are cool little apps. I used to use them all the time when I go into stores to try to figure out how to bring better stuff into my house. Okay, another thing I wanted to talk about and why I have this here, this is a sheet. Okay, you spend half your life in bed, people. So be careful what kind of linens you get, what kind of sheets you get. This is an organic sheet. I get organic cotton as much as I can. Not, sometimes we've been in situations where I just have to go to the secondhand store. And honestly, sometimes at the secondhand store, Papa has given me gifts. And this is one of them, actually, found at a secondhand store. Because sheets, as you know, can be pretty expensive. But one of the things in the scriptures in the Torah talks about not mixing things in there, with different kinds of fabrics and stuff. And that was a big process for me, learning what that meant. But one of the things I found out is linen actually is good for your body. It heals your body. So, I'm like, okay, we can't wear linen all the time, but we could sleep in linen. So I'm trying to look at the spirit behind it. I'm trying to look at what Papa is trying to do, what he's trying to accomplish with some of the things that I don't understand yet completely. And, I actually made some sheets out of linen, and we sleep in the linen, which is super cool. So there's that. Also, I wanted to mention containers, food containers. Like if you get the super cheap plastic containers for food and you put your leftovers in there to go in your fridge, I mean, you're asking for trouble, okay? Just asking for it. You know, the cheaper the plastic, the worse it is, okay? So if you're going to put anything that's going to go into a cheap plastic anything, you're asking for it. So you need to be careful, and I know it costs more money, but start investing in, you know, stainless steel containers. This is one of the girls' lunch stainless steel containers that I used when they were going to school. So I put leftovers, you know, whatever in this. I have different sizes. The glass ones as well. Or there is also some plastic ones that are hard, that have, you know, are BPA free, that are good quality. I use those as well. Another thing is what you clean with. All right, so if you saw, excuse me, whoops. If you saw my laundry little space over here and you went to see, you know, where my cleaners were, you would be pretty much at a loss to figure out what I clean with. Sometimes Maggie, as the professional cleaner, gets frustrated with me because I don't really have a ton. I do have some things that are made from good companies, like Windex stuff, not Windex, but window stuff. And what I use for disinfectant is literally essential oils in a spray bottle with water. And it's really, that's all you need. You don't need to be using all the chemicals. You just need some EBO power, okay? I don't know why we're so scared of putting our EBO into things, but you can scrub a lot of stuff away. You don't have to have things that you know, are full of chemicals to get rid of our dirt. You can scrub. And disinfectant, you got sunshine, you got fresh air, you got some essential oils. I love Thieves. I'm going to tell you about some, I'm going to show you some essential oils in a second, but I actually love Thieves, or On Guard, for cleaning surfaces and stuff. Also, one other thing in this basket is I wanted to show you some homemade candles. So I'm pretty big on homemade candles. I do, you know, I do use tea lights and stuff from the store if I need to, but homemade candles out of beeswax, when you burn a lot of candles like I do, it sends toxins into the air when you're just using the paraffin. I think that's how you say it. So when you buy candles, be careful. I mean, get good quality candles that are made from it's made from beeswax. I know it's going to be more expensive, but there again, you're taking care of the temple. So if you have candles burning everywhere and you're sitting in the middle of it and you're breathing all this, you know, unnatural stuff, it's going to be harming your insides. So think through things. This is part of what I'm trying to get at, is to have you think through how you're taking care of the temple. What is going into you? What are you eating of? What is your skin eating of? What is your soft tissue eating of? And you're going to become like it. So if you surround yourself with chemicals, you are going to become a chemical, you know, sponge. You're going to be a chemical thing that's going to be sick, because you're going to be sick. You're going to get the diseases of the nations. Okay? So there's that basket. Oh my. And then I am going to show you. Yes. I'm going to show you here. We're going to talk about things for women just for a second. This is huge. Actually, let me just pull this whole basket up. Okay, so first of all, do one thing at a time here. I get ahead of myself sometimes. First of all, ladies, tampons have never been good. They're still not good. You shouldn't be using tampons at all. At all. Like, he didn't design you to be using tampons, okay? Hello. Yeah. Anyway, there's so many things that come with it, so many diseases, so many things that go wrong with that. So just stay away from that. And when you get things for your time of the month, get natural stuff, as natural as you can get it, okay? So I'm not talking, you know, a rag, but there are Glad rags. Love Glad rags. Glad rags are pretty cool. You got to try those if you can. But whatever you do, you know, Glad rags, or which they're super spendy, but you can make your own, for heaven's sakes. but make sure they're good organic cotton. Cotton itself, you know, is you know, just regular cotton isn't good anymore. Unfortunately, they spray it so much. Organic cotton is better, but when you consider what you're using close to your body like that during that time of the month, be really careful what you're using. That is taking care of your temple, okay? Also, let's just go for it. Makeup. Hello. Makeup is huge for women, okay? And, you know, because you're putting it on you, right? You're going to slather yourself with makeup, and maybe you're one of those ladies that don't need anything. That'd be super wonderful. And during the summer, I don't wear much at all. Just a little, I wear a little mascara, some lip stuff, maybe some eyeliner during the summer, but not much. During the winter, I use a little bit of foundation, a little bit more, but especially when I'm on camera here. But if you see me, you know, when I'm not in front of the camera, I have a little bit less. But it's, do not, can I repeat again? Do not go to the drugstore and just buy the makeup from over the counter at the drugstore, okay? You're talking wet, what is it called? Wet whatever, CoverGirl, Revlon, all that stuff. It's garbage, and it is cancer causing, okay? Big time cancer causing stuff. You know, what you need to do is actually look at the product itself. And I really believe that like I said, the little app will help you. Get the app, and then you can scan these things and find out. Now, I have fallen in love with Juice Beauty. Juice Beauty is makeup that you could actually eat. The stuff is so, it's made so clean. So you got your mascara, your lipstick, you got your foundation, you've got anything you want really. But this stuff is clean, it's good. So just be careful what you get makeup wise. So I'm trying to bring awareness to this, because this is something that your body is eating, because you're putting it on, you're ingesting it, okay? And if it has cancer causing stuff in it, you're opening yourself up for that. So be careful. It costs a lot, but then it's going to take care of your body more. All of this stuff, unfortunately, to take care of your body, it's going to cost more than just going in and getting the, you know, $3 lipstick and the, you know, $5 mascara. It's going to cost a lot more than that, but you're going to be taking care of your body. You're going to feel better. You're going to avoid the diseases of the nations, and you can, you know, look Papa in the eye and say, I did my best. Right? And you can look at your temple and say, I'm taking care of you. Same thing with shampoos, people. Shampoo and conditioner. I'm still, you know, trying things out. I'm constantly reading labels. So when you go into, you know, for us, we have like, I wish we had Whole Foods here. I wish we had Whole Foods, but we have other things, other places I go, and different places for different things. I look and I read the ingredients, you know, I reread and I do scans and I try to, you know, and so I try different things. This time, the kind of shampoo and conditioner I'm trying this time, so I don't have one to just totally recommend it. I did use for a long time. Something I think was called Fido, and it was something that I think Jennifer Aniston was using, and it's super cool stuff. I mean, it didn't suds, because suds, when they put suds into, you know, when you shampoo your hair and it feels all sudsy and stuff, that's something that they're adding to a filler, or something they're adding to it to make it feel good. It has nothing to do with getting your hair clean. So the kind that I was using before, I think it was called Fido something, super spendy, but it didn't suds, but it kept my scalp for the first time. It didn't get greasy, you know, in 24 hours. So it really changed my scalp. Just a few other things to talk about, like, you know, again, you know, what you wash your hands with. Really look at what you're washing your hands with, and what you're spraying over, you know, stuff you have behind the toilet. What do you spray with after you know, it's stinky? It's stinky, and what do you use? This is cool. This is just pure orange extract. It's probably something with an essential oil in it, right? Oh yes, and here's some more products for your face. You know, if you're looking into anti-aging stuff, which of course I am, anti-aging moisturizer and stuff like that, be really careful what it is that you're using. You don't want the chemicals, all the stuff that they're promoting, you know, that's a huge story in itself. But just, this is something very, very, that I'm trying from, it has essential oils in it and stuff, so we're trying that. I was putting pomegranate oil straight on my face from Israel. When we were in Israel, I went to a health place there, and they were promoting just pure pomegranate oil on the face, and that was, oh, I loved it. And then what do you put on your lips? You know, when they're sore or when they're whatever, just beeswax. We don't need all the funky stuff, just beeswax. That's good. You know, oh, here's a huge one. Nail polish, ladies. Yes. What is it? Nail polish. Okay. Nail polish, hands down, almost across the board, has formaldehyde in it. Do you know what formaldehyde is? Formaldehyde is what they use on dead people, okay, to preserve them. You do not want the normal nail polish. You've got to go find nail polish that does not have that formaldehyde in it. And you'll know by the smell. If it's super, super strong, then it's got formaldehyde. You don't want that. Your nails breathe. They're supposed to breathe, right? And I rarely put nail polish on. Mine is still coming off from last week. I don't normally have nail polish on, but if I do, you have to definitely use things that are natural. And I tell you, the nail polish remover, oops, this comes up as a 9 in cancer causing on the app. So, you know, just let the nail polish wear off, in my opinion. You know, lotions, what do you put all over your body? You know, what are you slathering all over your body to make it feel soft and smooth and touchable? You know, make sure that it is, you know, chemical free, that it's as chemical free as absolutely possible, something that's actually going to nourish your body. This is andalou. I love this andalou. It's this has some hemp in it. It's called Canacel seed. Canacel. Why can't I think of it? Anyway, it's a body lotion there. Well, also consider your deodorant. All right, deodorant can be, you know, really bad. There's some stupid stuff in deodorant. This is a clean one. A small one, we don't need much. I mean, unless, you know, you don't need. If you're sweating profusely, you're working, so go get in the shower afterwards. And if you're sweating profusely and you're not doing anything, then you need to be, you know, cleaning up your body so you don't do that. You're probably you have too much weight or something else is going wrong. You need to like start cleaning up your body kind of thing. You shouldn't need a ton of this. You know, if you do, then be careful. You need some, then be careful what you get. Toothpaste. Toothpaste is huge. Where does this? Oh, it's backwards. Toothpaste. You know, make sure that it's clean. Make sure it's not full of the, you know, Crest, Colgate, all that stuff. No matter what kind of beautiful box they have, don't get it. It's bad. Go to the health food store and get some healthy stuff. There's all kinds of healthy stuff you can try and to see what you like. This is the one that the girls like. You know, I wouldn't mind trying some of the other stuff. You know, they have charcoal and all the other that I wouldn't mind trying. But definitely no fluoride. We don't do fluoride. I do not do fluoride. No fluoride. That is a byproduct of a chemical process, people. It's like sludge that they tried to figure out what to do with, and they decided, oh, let's just put it in the people. So, and promote it as something good. No, and baby powder is bad. It's bad. Okay, it comes up like, you know, in the high red stuff on there. So don't be using this on your baby. For heaven's sakes, just use, I don't know, organic cornstarch, or I don't know, arrowroot powder, or you probably have a ton of different things that you know of, right? You know, and one other thing is hair coloring. You know, be super careful. I'm gonna put this back here. When you go get your hair colored, ladies, oh, for heaven's sake, be careful. Make sure that hair colorist, you know, I'm not gonna say it's bad to do it all the time. You know, you wanna watch how much you do it for sure, but man, you know, make sure she's using some they have organic hair color now. Make sure she's doing that. Make sure that the place you go is, you know, when you're sitting there for a couple hours, that it's ventilated well. You know, different things like that. Just, you don't want to like stress about it too much, but be careful. Be careful. This is your temple. This is Papa's temple, I mean, not your temple. Right? This is Papa's temple. Okay, I am going to talk about natural remedies in just a few minutes. I'm going to play one more segment for you, and then I'll get back to my final basket. Oh, hi. Hi. What brought you here? What are you doing in my storage unit? You scared me. Oh my. What was that? Oh, you want me to tell you a story? Oh, I love telling stories. Yeah, I would love to tell you a story. Yeah, come on in and sit down and I'll tell you a story. In fact, I turned to a great page in one of my photo albums that reminds me of a really cool story. These are our old dogs that we used to have, and there's a fabulous story about them. I love to start my stories with, yes, once upon a time. So once upon a time, a long time ago, we were looking for a dog. Now, I don't know if you can see this or not, but these were our two beautiful dogs. We had a Malamute Shepherd and an Akita Husky. Oh, Malamute Shepherd and Akita Husky. Nate and Katie. And look, they have a cat treed right there. This is with Maggie. And we love these dogs so very much. But before we got Katie, the black one, I had Nate. So I had Nate before I got married, and he was little, and oh, he was my best friend. Absolutely my best friend. Well, when I got married, my best friend had to get off the bed. So my dog got kicked to the floor when we got married, and then of course I felt bad for him. So we wanted to find him a friend. So we started looking for another dog. Well, before we found the perfect match for Nate, which was Katie, we went looking for a different kind of dog. Like, we thought we wanted a wolf. That's what we thought. I don't know what we were thinking, but we thought we wanted a wolf. So there was an ad in the paper for some wolf pups that were over in the west side of Spokane. So one day, Isaac and I went over, and it was towards the afternoon into the evening, and we followed the directions. This was before GPS, this was before cell phones. We were just, this was 18 years ago, something like that, and we were following the directions, and we were like, is this the right place? Because we got to a place that was completely fenced in. It was super weird. Like, it had a big cyclone fence around it, and inside the cyclone fence, you could see horses and junk and animals and junk. It was really weird. So we thought, well, we'll check it out. And so we go and we pull up, we drive up, and as we're there and outside the gate, we're waiting for the lady to come out, and we can hear this clunk, clunk. So the horses would be walking through this junkyard basically and kicking cans just because there was nowhere to walk. And as they walked, they were kicking cans, and you could hear them crunching all the. It was really weird. And we looked around and we're like, maybe we shouldn't be here. But the lady came running out of the place, and she said, yeah, I have some wolf pups. So she let us in to the gate, and then we saw some other kennels that had wolf pups in them, and they weren't wolf pups as in the small, beautiful, cute little wolf pups you see on nature shows. These were skinny, scrawny, tall, kind of creepy looking wolf pups, and we're like, yeah, I don't think that's going to work for us. So we said, no, thank you, and we turned around to walk away and go back out the gate and go away, get away, because it was a scary place, and she was a little scary. All of a sudden we heard this roar, a lion's roar. And we turned to the lady and we said, what was that? And she said, oh, that's just my lion. And we went, you have a lion? And ends up that she has this lion that she sleeps with. This cat can come and go from her house and into her window and would come sleep with her at night and then leave. We were like, thank you, goodbye. And they lived happily ever after. I honestly have no idea if that lady lived much longer. I have no idea. But I do know that someday in the happily ever after, we absolutely will get to hug and play with animals that here and now we can't play with. Yeah, that will be an amazing time, won't it? We'll get to play with a lion, ride a lion. Oh, so it will be so fun. There's so many wonderful things waiting for us in the happily ever after. I cannot wait to get there, and I want to get there at all costs, absolutely. So thank you for listening to my story. I hope you enjoyed it, and definitely come back again because I have some more stories to share. Bye-bye. Oh, man. Wow. Lots of good memories. I haven't seen this for a while. Okay, so we are going to kind of round out our day today. We're almost done here. I know if you stayed here with me, I'm so thankful for you to continue on. But natural remedies, we're going to just chat about that for just a second. And I'm going to go through this basket. One thing I want you to know is next week, one of the things that I believe in a lot is chiropractic care. Now, obviously, there are good chiropractors and there are bad chiropractors. My husband one time had an experience with a bad chiropractor and really hurt him. And he still struggles with the pain that man inflicted and is very, very nervous, has been very, very nervous and scared of trusting a chiropractor again. But we have been blessed to find someone who Papa has sent us, who I am going to actually have on the show next week. And I'm going to do an interview with him, and he's going to tell you about chiropractic care. He's going to try to give you a little bit of a insight into what this is all about. And so that'll be very exciting to have my chiropractor on the show next week. But a couple of things I just wanted to talk about, natural remedies. So, you know, one of the things I just want to inspire you to do is not run directly to the doctor. You don't need allopathic medicine for everything. You can take care of yourself, and you can be proactive in taking care of yourself so that you don't get sick, so that your immune system is very healthy. But also when you do have the issues, you can deal with it in other ways. Now, this is not a full-blown on everything. I just threw a bunch of stuff in the basket to show you. So one of the things that I love is kombucha. Now, at the teepee, we brewed our own kombucha and our own kefir. So kefir, I don't have any kefir right here, but kefir is like a really thick, it's kind of like a yogurty thing, and it will calm the stomach. It will help to coat the stomach. The kombucha doesn't coat the stomach, but it will get rid of a tummy ache. So if you have like something going on in your tummy, something not so happy, the kombucha and the live probiotics in it will take care of that, like literally almost immediately. It's super cool. Love kombucha. All the probiotics helping your body have the right kind of bacteria in it that it needs. One of the things that, I know I have a wool sock here. This is as old as I am, I think. When I was a little girl, my great-grandma had a way of dealing with sore throat when it started. It was to put a wet rag in the sock and then put the sock around your neck for the whole night, and she would pin it in the back. And literally by the morning, it basically sucked out she would say it's sucking out the poison. Well, I think what's happening is it's bringing blood to that area, and it's really healing. Your body's healing itself. That's the one thing about your body. The designer, the creator, YHVH ELOHIM, created your body to heal itself. So your mind is super powerful. Your mind can heal your body. It's super powerful in how he designed your body to make new cells and get rid of old bad cells, and it's this your immune system is a huge on the front lines of that care. But if your immune system is down, then it leaves your doors wide open for the enemy to come in. So you got to keep that immune system up by taking care of your body and doing the best you possibly can to give it what it needs to operate the way it was intended to operate. Okay? Yeah? Okay, so one of the things that I love here is teas. I'm actually been getting more and more into teas lately. Moringa tea is basically from what's called a miracle tree. It's leaves from a miracle tree. I can't remember where it originated from, but super cool stuff in the sense of it it will heal you from the inside out. Teas, absolutely teas. Here's another tea that I get. It's called Esiac tea. This is amazing. I've shared it with a lot of ladies in my group and a lot of friends. This is gold right here. This story of Casey, Renee Casey, back in the 30s, how she healed cancer by using a tea. This tea that she brewed, it will blow your mind. And how the cancer, entities at be and the cancer people basically tried to get her thrown in jail, because we're in a situation where you have disease creation and maintenance. It's a business. They want you sick. They want you to stay sick so that you keep giving them your money or the insurance money so that they can stay in business, so they can go live the posh life, so they can take the herbs and not get the diseases. A lot of times I've heard stories where doctors who get cancer, who are cancer doctors, and they get cancer, they won't do the chemo because they know it's killing you. They won't do it. They will do something different. They won't go through the same processes that they put people through. It's a business, people. And if you open your mind up to that, and you begin to realize you don't need, you do not need the flu shot. Did you hear me? You do not need the flu shot. We used to get the flu shot. Big on flu shots, right? Okay, we have a special needs child. And they said, you must have the flu shot in your home. I mean, that was almost mandatory. And so we lived in that for a while until, man, every time we get it, we get sick. Duh. They're putting all kinds of monkey stuff and, was it monkey pee and all kinds of really disgusting things into your body, plus some of the flu. It's like, why would you do that? That's the most idiotic thing I think I've ever heard of in my entire life. And so when we stopped doing that, we stopped getting sick. Literally, we don't go into the winter freaking out about, oh my gosh, we're going to get sick this winter. No, we don't go that. We don't even think that because we don't get sick. Remember, we take care of ourselves. We wash our hands a lot, if we're in the public, which that takes me to this. I have different products here. I have one from doTERRA, On Guard. And I also have one from Young Living that's Thieves. And these are hand sprays. I love the smell of them. You go into a store and all you do is you spray it on your hands and man, you can breathe it, and it's just really good. It's got some, it's got oils in it that are going to kill the germs that you touched or whatnot. But so we wash our hands, we take care of that. We need to be, what do you call it? Precautionary things so that we don't catch sick. Sometimes we do. Absolutely, we're not immune to the whole thing, but you don't have to get the diseases of the nations. Now, if you are in public school, which I don't think any child of the king should be there, in my opinion. It's just rotten in Denmark. What they're teaching your kids, the whole gender thing, the whole evolution thing. It is not for believers. I don't believe, unless Papa's called you to a special purpose to be there, the holiday rhythm is off. The belief system is completely crazy. They have their own belief system, their own religion, their own ethics. So anyway, you go there, you're going to get sick. Everybody's sick there. The kids are sick. The pagans are sick all the time. So, and I'm not saying that believers don't get sick and you don't struggle with some of that. Okay, please hear my heart on that. I'm just trying to invite you into taking better care of yourself so that you don't get their sicknesses, okay? Another thing, if you struggle with sore muscles and stuff, there is all kinds of CBD oil muscle rubs. CBD oil is rockin' cool. You can take it internally. You can take it like a massage oil and put it on kind of thing. I use it in coconut oil kind of thing. Also, I got the wrong thing here. But the deep blue, I love that, for pain. Different companies, there's a lot of different companies that have some great stuff out there. While we're on the topic, the essential oils, and I know this might be a conflict of interest with there's Young Living and there's doTERRA. I know there's other oils out there, but I love some of these, like Breathe, when you're needing some help breathing, oils. Oils are amazing. On Guard, and then Thieves from Young Living, and then Melaleuca. Okay, if you get a burns, Melaleuca oil. My mom one time was working in the kitchen at camp, and a big steamer oven. And so she opened the steamer oven, and all the steam came out and just hit her face so hard, and it was just burnt. I think it was 2nd-degree burn, but it was really painful for her. But she put the Melaleuca oil on almost right after, instantly, and she had no scars. It did not burn as bad as it could have been. It could have been really bad, but literally saved her face by using the Melaleuca oil. All right. Another thing is fire cider. I make a fire cider. I don't know if you know, this is fire cider. It's basically brewed, you basically brew on your counter a bunch of really hot things like onions and garlic and, certain kinds of peppers and turmeric and ginger and mustard and just horseradish and just all kinds of incredible things. And then you put some honey in it, and then you brew it there for a long time, and then you pour the liquid off, and that's this. And so if you start to get a sore throat or anything, you just take a sip of this. It's like your hot toddy, only it's natural. It doesn't have the whiskey in it, and it will just kill everything that's going on down here. This, I guess, gotta say, you've got to check this out. This, I believe, Papa, I was obsessed with this story, with Renee Casey's story last summer. Absolutely obsessed, and my family takes this every day as directed in here. Also, I know there's lots of people teaching health that actually get into the details of things, that know what they're talking about when it comes to the molecular stuff and everything. Well With You, I love Dr. Hazim and his wife Adrian. They are super amazing. They're super good. So Well With You, I don't know if it's wellwithyou.org. Just research Well With You. They are really, really good. They're doctors. They know what they're talking about. I think he's a chiropractor too. So, and just a couple other things I was going to talk about. This is what we used at the teepee. There is nothing like hot water. Or a wood stove or something to just, sometimes I'll feel like my body, like I'm having a hard time regulating my temperature, and I'll just just hot. It will just make me feel so much better. I can get myself regulated either in a hot bath or a hot water bottle like at the teepee. And then here, since we have electricity, I use a thermophore. This is called a thermophore. It's basically wet heat. Does the same sort of thing, but it will help your body re-acclimatize and get back on track with regulating its temperature. All right. So super cool stuff here, and there's so much more. We're just scratching the surface here, and I don't mean to. I just want to just show you my cupboard, okay? Some of the things in my cupboard that I use to help take care of my family. So actually, I think that's it. Yay. So a couple other things I know would be, some other things that we do would be saunas. Oh, saunas. Oh, would that be cool to have a sauna in your house? But saunas, or fasting. Okay, we wanted to talk about fasting just for a moment. Okay, so when an animal gets sick, what do? The first thing they do. Does anybody know? They fast. They stop eating. They stop eating and they stop drinking. And I don't know why we don't look at the animal world and say, oh, well, maybe we should, stop eating if we're sick. Whether you're dealing with just a cold or that sort of thing, although colds can be pretty bad now, the super bugs and stuff going around. But, or if you're dealing with an illness, your body actually needs time to deal with what's going on inside instead of dealing with what you're dumping down it. So fasting is super important, I think, in the process of healing. Something that I want to do more of. I used to do more than I am right now, but something that Isaac and I went on a 2-week fast one time to seek the Ruach HaKodesh and get clarity. And fasting brings clarity of mind, but it also brings the ability in your body to begin to work on other things besides dealing with the food that you're always dumping into it. And that's a huge topic in itself, so I don't know if we're going to go off on that too much right now, but let me continue here. If you struggle with weight, like I was talking about earlier, one of the things to do, I love to start, a little weight control session with myself by starting with a fast, or starting with a fast or a limited diet. So something like just eating, popcorn a week, or for a few days, or just eating, watermelon, or just eating, applesauce or something. Something really cleansing and something that's going to allow it to go through really fast. But then also I don't eat second. Try to not eat seconds. That's the goal. Something I've got to start working on again. But try to not eat seconds. So put whatever you want on the plate and don't go back. So you can make new habits of not going back for more. Or, also one of the things I know in my head is also good is not eating dinner. Like I said, at the teepee, we went down to 2 meals a day. It was enough. It was enough. I don't know, honestly, if it was enough for Isaac. But I know that he slept better when he didn't eat that last meal, basically. But we would do a 10 and a 4. So we'd eat breakfast at 10 and we'd have dinner at 4. You can't always do that because we were living off grid by ourselves, homesteading, so we could do whatever we wanted. But when you're in town and other rhythms kind of govern your life, unfortunately, you have to do what you do, but you have to do what you can do. But to skip that last dinner, for a girl, you'll wake up feeling so much better. You'll feel clean, you'll feel hungry, and then to just we take the Esiac on an empty stomach in the morning, don't eat anything for about a half hour, and then, being careful with what you eat. Losing weight you can do this. You can do it. Okay. And then also one thing I just want to address with women is the female doctor idea. Okay. This is another business. All right. And I'm not going to speak too much about this except for the fact that you don't need the woman doctor every year. Okay. You know what I'm talking about, the gynecologist kind of thing. There has been studies that prove that with mammograms, with all of that, pap smears and all of that stuff, you can actually get problems. You can get diseases. You can get things from that sort of practice. So I don't practice that. I don't need that. I don't practice that. I wanted to also, I just want to help you think that Yehovah is your doctor. It's not even that Yeshua is they're your health care. They're like the ones that know you. They know how your body works. They know how your equipment works, and they can heal you, okay? And they can help you learn how to heal, how to walk in a way that your body will heal itself. Okay, and I just wanted to mention too, when we go to get our teeth cleaned and stuff, which I'm big on that, getting your teeth cleaned, but no fluoride, and I limit the amount of x-rays, to once a year with the girls, and the different dentists and stuff and orthodontists. So I'm really proactive on that. They will x-ray you every single time you go in. They don't need to, but they make money on that. So I'm really proactive on that, kind of like a, you know, mother bear. So, and then also the fluoride. You just have to be in their face about that. No fluoride. And then also a huge one is vaccines. For heaven's sakes, don't vaccine your children. For heaven's sakes, there's nothing more stupid, in my opinion. And I know it's just my opinion, but you just do your research, and enough people know that this is a way that they are destroying the image bearers, is through vaccinations. You know, when I was a kid, it was like a few vaccinations. When my girls were little, it was a few, and I kick myself. I'm so sad, so sorry that I ever let the doctors talk me into that for my kids. And I knew it was wrong in my heart when I saw what they were doing when they inject it. And I just, you know, and then I stopped it. You know, I stopped later on, so I didn't allow them to do it, all of them. But now they want to do so many at a time and do so much, and they're putting poison into your kids. Just say no. You have the right, and if you don't have the right, move. If you do not have the right, feel the freedom to move. You are not stuck anywhere, people. This is part of the mentality that we have, is like, well, you know, I'm stuck right here. No, you're not. You are given freedom by Papa to move, to have change. You know, even if that is hard, do it, because you don't want their poison. You don't want them to be demanding and tying you down somewhere and shoving stuff into you. How is that, you know, it's not like that right now. You are not being forced in that way. You are being forced maybe in that area, but you can leave that area. You can leave school. You can change schools. You can change work. You can change locations of where you live. You can change patterns. You can change habits. Okay, so here we go. We're going to close out here. How to make new habits. How to make new habits. We're going to check out this after I play one more segment from my daughter Maggie.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Tea and Treasures. We have a lot of these around the house from past Shavuots that we've done. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yes, okay, so this is a new Melchizedek contract Shavuot betrothal ketubah. It's a little bit long, but I wanted to make it really clear as to what this actually was. So this is a ketubah. Ketubah is an agreement. Something that the groom actually gives the bride to say what he wants to do for her if she will be faithful to him. Okay. So that is what this is. It's an agreement between Yehovah and Israel through the betrothal of his son Yeshua. And yeah.
Beautiful. Alright, so I love this image. Who is she and what does she represent?
I took this picture a long time ago when I had in my photography studio. And this is basically a bride who is awaiting her husband to be. So this is she's betrothed, she's engaged, she's waiting for her bridegroom to come get her, and so she's going to be faithful to her husband to be. And that's what we are supposed to be, is faithful to our husband to be. So we're waiting and longing, we're longing for him to come back and get us.
Alright, so what would a person use this for, and how would it help them celebrate the feast better?
Okay, so yeah, a person could use this by putting this up on their wall. You see it's on foam core, so it's stiff, and you just put a little hook in the back and hang it up on your wall. After you obviously read it and sign it. And then in here there's text and verses that you would look up. So the whole ketubah, the original ketubah, as in the one that's in the Torah, isn't this. This is more of a poetic expression of it, but you would read the actual words of Yehovah that you're agreeing to with the text in here, and then you would sign it, and you have witnesses who help to hold you accountable to actually keeping it, and you hang it on your wall for the whole year so that you remember what you promised. Would it help you celebrate the feast? Well, this is something that we use during Shavuot. It's a big part of our Shavuot experience because we mikvah during Shavuot into an identity with Yeshua. And when we do that, we come out, we read the ketubah, we read the covenant in the Torah, we read this, and we sign, and we have witnesses that sign for us. So, and we tend to redo this every year just to redo our promise. This would help immensely in your Shavuot celebration to really know what Shavuot is about. and then to retain what you've learned from what Shabbat is about and keep it on your wall all year long.
Well, I do hope more people buy this.
Yeah, I think it would be nice to have this on many people's walls. It's very, very elegant. It's very beautiful. It's for the Melchizedek Priesthood.
Oh, you're rolling.
Okay, Maggie's so funny. All right, so we're going to close this show out. We're going to talk about how to make new habits, because I bet you anything that I have made a lot of people feel overwhelmed, and that's the last thing that I want to do. I want to challenge you to grow in your how you take care of the temple. Absolutely. So I'm challenging you. But this has been a huge journey for me. I've come from, different things that I've gone through in my life, and I know that change can take place, and I know that habits can, you can make new habits. I have done this. I have gotten freedom. I have been set free from, bulimia, anorexia, from different things that controlled me, food being one of them, but other things. And I know that what Yeshua says is true, that he came to heal the brokenhearted and set the captives free. He actually can do that, and he actually does do that, and he did it to me. So if you don't see somebody who's actually been set free from something and staying free from something, then what he says and what they say isn't true, but it is true. So I'm here to help to help challenge you to rise up to the idea of, you are, as a Melchizedek priest, if you are a Melchizedek priest, then to take care of the temple. It's not your own. So here, how do we do it? You make one change at a time, okay? It's only one change at a time. And as I said last week, the idea of, I went in and I said, what is it? One thing I started to change, and it was the Ruach moving on my heart to change, something one at a time. And it was literally sour cream the first time, and then it was cream cheese, and really it comes at, this is my last slide, it comes at the point of choice, okay? So you standing as, especially as the mom, as an Ezer Kenegdo, men, you do it too. I mean, you're standing, with the supermarket door, open, or the, what do you call it? The gas station. You're at the gas station and you have the door open, the sliding door, and you see the fruit juices over here and you see the colas over here. That's the point of choice, okay? So ladies, you're standing there in front of the freezer at the supermarket, and you have the choice. You can either buy the really, really cheap, inexpensive big tub of sour cream that is not organic, that has no, has no hint on it that it is made from, happy cows, or you can buy the smaller container that is more money of sour cream that says organic on it, and you do your research and you find out that's a good company. It's right there that your point of choice is. Is your goal to just fill up your cart with just food? Not just food, in my opinion, is nutritious food, but is your goal to just fill the cart up and fill stuff, all your cupboards full, so that when your kids open the cupboards, they see stuff in there, whether it's processed or not? So no. Your goal, I'm telling you what your goal is. As a Melchizedek priest, your goal is to fill your cupboards and your fridge with healthy food. Homemade, healthy food that is not packaged, not pre-processed, not processed a lot. Organic, non-GMO food, so that when they go into the cupboards and they eat, or they get ingredients to make food, that they are going to have the healthiest stuff that you can give them outside of this side of the paradise being restored. So it's at the point of choice. It's at the point of when you're making your choice to when are you going to grab. And you may say, I don't have enough money. Well, then you're not going to get as much things, okay? You're not going to fill your cart. You're going to get a little cart, and you're going to do a little bit. You're not going to eat 3 meals a day. You're going to eat 2 meals a day. You're not going to fill your, cupboard completely full. You're going to fill it half full. It's choices. You're going to make one change, though, at a time. Just one. So right now, This is what I want you to do. I want you to get a piece of paper right now and write down what it is on a piece of paper. Get a pen. Write down one change that you're going to make. One change. Is it the sour cream? You're going to get different sour cream. You're going to get different cream cheese. Are you going to, what product are you going to change the way you get? Okay? Milk. You know, start with the bad ones. Milk, or, you know, this is awesome. I just got to share this with you. I just found this. It's an app called Dirty Dozen. It literally, I don't know if you can see that, but it's called Dirty Dozen. Do you see it has Dirty Dozen, and then it has the Clean 15 right there. So if you click on Dirty Dozen, it will show you the actual foods that are the Dirty Dozen. Okay, top of this list is strawberries and spinach, nectarines, apples, all this, okay? That's the Dirty Dozen. You can actually go in, you can click on strawberries right here. Let's see. Hello, where'd you go? I did this just a little bit ago. There it is. All right, Dirty Dozen. Let's get this. Where'd it go? Oh, Dirty Dozen. I clicked on strawberries and it brought up an incredible like uncovering of why they have put strawberries at the top of the list. Let me just go. It's a really cool thing. Let me just go get it again. So I want to show you. So Dirty Dozen. Clicked on that. Strawberries. Get the guide. I know you can get the guide. Anyway, it worked just a minute ago. Anyway, it will tell you why strawberries are on the top of the list, or why these 12 fruits and vegetables are on these lists. It's about the chemicals that they spray. It's about the history of it, and so it's super cool. Then you can also click on the Clean 15. What ones are not okay, or which ones are okay that don't matter whether they're organic or not. You know, avocados, sweet corn, pineapples, cabbage, papayas and stuff, and you can click on these and you can go, well, why is this one on the clean list? You know, it will tell you how they practice harvesting or raising these things. So very cool. And then just really quickly on the Dirty Dozen app that I talked about, if you look Tide, I found it, and I went in and I look at Tide detergent. Look at that, it's a 9. It has 2 cancer-causing ingredients in it, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are in yellow. That's not good. Okay, so I love these little apps. So right now, write down on this piece of paper that you have one thing that you are going to change this week. Next time you go to the store, you are actually going to change. You know, is it your laundry detergent? Is it your makeup? Is it the soap that you wash your hands with? Is it the lotion you put on your body? Is it the spray that you're going to spray after you go to the bathroom? Is it what you disinfect with? What is it, the kind of strawberries you get? Is it the kind of eggs you get? Or the milk you get? You're going to do raw milk now. Are you. So I want you to write down right now and think about that while I play my little Havdalah video for you. I like to close Shabbat with a small ceremony called Havdalah. Havdalah is division, dividing the holy day from the work days. It's important to somehow guard the edges of Shabbat.
Can we blow it out now?
All right, there you go. And then we say goodbye, Shabbat. See you next week. There are so many ways that you can enter and exit Shabbat. If you do it like our brother Judah does it, you'll need a Kiddush cup for talking about overflowing joy, a Havdalah candle to talk about when the two become one, spices for talking about how to be a fragrant aroma to the King. Whatever you do, separate Shabbat out. Teach your children how to do this, and do it beautifully. May the ways of YHVH ELOHIM, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, burn into the minds and hearts of the next generation. All right, so I just want to, I would love to know in the feed, I'd love for you to make a comment under this video and tell me what the one thing is that you're going to change this week and begin to make new habits. And so I want to invite you to join me next week. I'm going to chat with my chiropractor next week and do a little interview, so hopefully that will happen this week. And I will have that for you. And also, thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking the time to come this far in the video. I know it's a long video, or a long Shabbat show, but thank you for joining me. And I hope that you take it very seriously on how you take care of Yehovah's temple, your body. So I absolutely love lavender oil. Just so relaxing. All right, you have a wonderful week, and may Yehovah bless you. May you experience Yehovah in you as Yeshua and Yehovah are in each other. May you love like Yehovah loves. May you love like your brother Yeshua loves. And may you experience health and joy and peace and shalom even this side of the King's return. Shalom. Your generous and faithful support is much needed in order for our ministry to thrive. If you have benefited from our work, then please become a patron today. Visit www.patreon.com/Rebekah